Alright, Shalom. Once again, all praise is honor and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Raka Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all the sincere Akian. And this is your brother Abawan, back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Raka Kwadash. All praises and glory is due, especially in the times that we're in, right? So yeah, this is this, and the video that you see right here is basically a video going into what's called schizophrenia, right? So when it comes to schizophrenia, it's one of these mental illnesses that you have, right? In one of these mental illnesses that you have, and that's probably what I'm going to title this video, right? Basically, demons play in the minds of Babylonians part 2, because I've already done a video with that same similar title. And the reason why I'm doing this video is based on recent news events and what happened recently in the news, specifically, okay, with if you heard about the story of the Ukrainian woman that got stabbed up by that Jake, that these Edomites are currently going on a rampage and crying about online. So that's the reason why I'm actually doing this video right here, because hey, when you go into the details of that news, of that situation, and I'm not going to do an independent video going into that, because doing a video like that was the main reason why my main channel got struck. So I'm just watching what I'm saying and careful with my words and what I'm displaying right now, because Esau is clearly on the prowl on the YouTube, man. So basically what I'm saying is that all right, if you do your research, you go into the background of the murderer, right? The guy that stabbed up the Ukrainian woman, you find out that this dude actually did have a mental illness, specifically this same schizophrenia that you see here, right? Where basically he was calling the police and saying things like, oh, they are monitoring him and the police are watching him and what he was doing. So you have the schizophrenia plus paranoia, right? So before I go into anything else, let me just get a quick preset, okay? Because, like I said, man, demons play in the minds of Babylonians. Because, when it comes to mental illnesses, right? When it comes to these psychosis, when it comes to wickedness as well, Esau, America, Babylon the Great, leads the whole world when it comes to these things, because of the wickedness of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so let's get this. So actually, hold on, let's get this. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus 25, verse 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Right now, we're focusing on the first part. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart. And if you go into the root word for the word heart in the Hebrew, it's la'ab, which is mind, right? A plague of the mind, a sickness of the mind, which basically you understand that to be mental illnesses. And a lot of these mental illnesses that you see occurring to people, especially in America, Babylon the Great, right? And this is not medical information, this is not a medical prescription, right? Or a medical diagnosis, okay? I am not giving any medical information when I say this, right? But this is okay. But what you find out is a lot of these mental illnesses that you see happen in America, Babylon the Great. So you have these individuals, right? These Babylonians that just wake up out of nowhere, kill all their family members, right? Kill their children, kill their wives, kill their spouses, commit all kinds of unspeakable evil acts to each other. It is because of these demons, man. And they are heavy, spirit, they are heavy, unclean spirits and demons moving around in Babylon, man. That's why I always stay prayed up about the brothers that are over there in Babylon, because it takes a very, very strong spirit to be able to be a sincere man of the Lord in Babylon, man, because that place is in a whole different dimension of wickedness. All right, so yeah, basically just that, a plague of the heart, and that is something that is affecting a lot of these Babylonians out here in these last days. Okay, And let me just quickly go and get another precept, okay? Just because of the times that we're in. So this precept is an indicator, right? And this precept is indicative of the times that we're in. Matthew 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? And that's what you are seeing happening in these last days, right? In no love in Babylon in these last days, okay? That's why you are seeing wickedness increasing and upscaling, and wickedness going on a greater level than it normally should be. All right, mainly, or of course, it's all a compounding thing. The wicked is in rulership, and because the wicked is in rulership, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich is in a low place, right? So let's quickly get some pieces just to go into what I'm talking about. So this is the book of Proverbs, and I believe that's 29 verse 2. So this is the book of Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, right? And because the wicked are in rulership, okay, and we know the wicked are Esau, Edom. Let's get a quick preset just to go to that. So this is the book of First Maccabees 1, and I'll start from verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius the king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. Right, so this is giving you a chronicle, a timeline of Alexander's rise to power after he had taken power from the Medo-Persians. So I'll jump down a little bit to get to the point, because the important factor that needed to be known there is Alexander the Greek, or rather Alexander the Macedonian. So like Alexander the Edomite coming into power, because Alexander was an Edomite, and is still very much an Edomite, okay? But he ruled in Macedonia, and he also ruled in Greek, but his family, his bloodline, his seed, his nationality goes back to Esau, Edom, by way of Agag. All right. So now, First Maccabees 1 verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule, everyone in his place, right? And if you know the secular history, you know when Alexander the Greek died, right? His four generals became rulers. They split up his kingdom and ruled the four different parts of his kingdom, right? Cassander, Seleucus, Antigonus, and Ptolemy. Okay, First Maccabees 1 verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Right, and this is when you begin to see Esau, Edom establish himself and become, and gain the rulership. Okay, because all the four generals of Alexander we just mentioned are Edomites as well. All right, because that whole group right there, they were all Edomites, and they came into power and began to bring evils and wickedness upon the earth, because they are the wicked, which is why, as the scriptures say, like I said, man, because the wicked are in power, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place, because wickedness is allowed to flourish on the earth, right? Wickedness is celebrated on the earth, and that's why you see the earth currently in the condition that it is in. That's why you see so many people, especially in America, Babylon the Great, just get demons on them and go completely off the rail and commit actions like this, because what happened with that woman, right, is not unique. It's not something that just happens out of nowhere in America, Babylon the Great. Wasn't that just recently that you had a situation of one of these Edomite children that walked up into a school and shut up the school? Is that not something that happens frequently in America, Babylon the Great, where people just commit random acts of violence, right? You have, all kinds of, because the reason why is because, like I said, man, all kinds of demons jumping on all kinds of people and bugging them out and making them do these kind of things, right? Because, like I said, demons play in the minds of Babylonians. All right, and that's really what's going on in Babylon right now, because that spirit, okay, that spirit of basically because that's the spirit that's on Babylon right now, and that's the spirit that's on the inhabitants of Babylon, right?
I
Amen.
just
And
got
look,
saved for my first
that's just
international
basically
gig.
it right
So
there.
I got this
Okay,
content creation
you
gig like
know
3 weeks ago, and
what
they
you
wanted me
have
to
to
do a video at
understand is that
$150.
it's
And I'm
not
feeling so silly because dollars in
you're
this
not just
economy, and it
dealing
come
with
on. And it was
oh it's
going to be
just
my
a
first international
generic
gig, so I was just excited. Obviously,
mental
they wanted to pay
illness
in
or just
dollars, so I
anything like
ran
that,
straight
but
to
what
my
you're
Gray
dealing
app
with
and
is
opened a dollar bank account
demons, man. All
instantly.
right,
I used the
that's
invoice
why the
feature to
scripture say.
create
Let's
and
get
send
this
a
precept. Let's get
professional
this precept
looking
real quick.
invoice. So that they think I'm a
That's how the
pro,
scripture say. Let's
They
get this. Let's
acknowledged the
get this.
invoice. I got to work. I showed them the video. They were
Now we
impressed.
battle not against flesh and blood, right? Let's get this. Let's get that precept. Spiritual wickedness. So let's bring this out. Yeah, it says. So this is the book of Ephesians 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, and it reads. Hold on, let me go into the full. Yeah, here it is. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right. So you have to understand, that is there is all kinds of high level witchcraft and all kinds of demonic activities going on daily in America, Babylon the Great. Spells and sacrifices and rituals and so on and so forth, man. And hey man, that's the reason why you see so many people who bugged out in Babylon, man. That's the reason why you see so many people who bugged out in Babylon committing all kinds of crimes and all kinds of wickedness, okay? Because that's the condition of America, Babylon the Great. It is a wicked place, right? Let me get a quick preset just to show what I'm talking about, right? In the book of Nahum, okay? And that's really what it is. None of the things, none of the stories that you are hearing out of Babylon should really surprise you, because that's just perfectly, because hey, look, at this point, man, you should already be completely desensitized to it, because that's just part of the course, because this is a wicked kingdom, as the scriptures say, man. So this is the book of Nahum 3 verse 1. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robberies, the prey departeth not. And that's exactly what America, Babylon the Great is, right? The bloody city. Alright, all kinds of, like I said, man, all kinds of demons and bug outs all over that, man. And the place is it's completely wicked, man. Demons and bug outs and so on and so forth working all over that city. But now let's get back to the main point right there, right here, okay? Which is basically just the facts, okay? That hey, when you see a lot of these things that happen, right? A lot of these super gruesome crimes, okay? A lot of these stories about the frequent conditions, the frequent plagues that happen in Babylon the Great. And I'm mainly speaking of the plague of the sword, school shootings, right? That happen frequently, you know. Um, these kinds of murders that also happen as well, stabbings, shootings, the gang violence, okay, the Esau, even Esau, man, being the devil that he is, putting Jake to death in all kinds of different ways. A lot of these things are being done by demons, man. And Esau himself is just one big ass demon. So yeah, a lot of these things are being done by your demons because of the heavy wickedness that goes on in Babylon the Great, and it can't be stressed enough, okay, how wicked America, Babylon the Great really is. Okay, that's the reason why you see these kind of things happening. And that's really all there is to say about that, man. So yeah, I'm just going to end it right here. So just going to end it right here. Just a quick just going into it real quick. So with that, once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai Ba'asham Raka Kwadash Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit I hope you are Kiam and you are Kwaswa edified. Shalom.